Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Buy Round. No, you have not time travelled. I know what you're thinking. He's back. Brandon Smith, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know why.
Well, back in your rightful seat, mate. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
when
I think you're in my rightful seat.
in the middle
Right,
here.
centre of the show.
Yeah.
Before we get started as well, for those of you that haven't listened already, our Macca's 99, Buy Round 99, which brought to us 4 episodes, numbers 99 to 75, Brandon Smith, my 87th best player in the competition as it currently stands. I feel you would be higher on the ladder.
He's gone with the higher.
I've gone with the higher. Yeah, we had a lot of debate around this, but I'm willing to compromise when you are a month, 2 months away from being way higher up the list.
That is the plan, Jimmy. That is the plan.
Are you happy with 87?
I am happy with 87. I've played like 4 games in the last 2 years. I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, you played really well, Chiefs, in those games.
Yeah, you look fantastic, actually.
Fantastic. Also, guys, the Patreon is now live. So if you want more content like this or ad-free listening, subscribe to the Patreon. What, $5 a month is it, Charlie?
Yeah, just $5 a month. So basically, a cup of coffee.
You can't, you know
for
what,
you, Jimmy, because you're an almond milk large extra shot.
I don't even think you can get a large coffee in Sydney at a reputable cafe for
$5.
For $5.
No.
And look, we are in need. We're desperate need here at the Buy Round. We're almost having a battle of wills between the 4 of us here on the team and any guests that come in and who's going to empty that bin first. So, maybe we can put a bit of a kitty together and it can become somebody's responsibility. I looked at it before and thought, there's room for one more.
My partner
There's
does
room
that.
for one more. Yes. I
My partner does those sort of challenges with me. Like I'll leave a bottle on the, like right in the middle of the hallway, and she'll just leave it there and see how long it takes. And every day she'll Snapchat her friends like, update on the bottle, it's still not gone.
But I think with bins, it is a battle of it's a man thing to do. It's never full to absolute capacity. You've got some crushing down to do. You've got some stacking of the cups to do.
You get your feet in there sometimes and stomp it out.
Yeah. But maybe take the bag out of the bin and generate some bit more space and have it just to the side.
If you take the bag out of the bin, you got to finish the job.
No,
you got to finish the job.
There's no way. If I'm taking the bag out,
Mate,
it's got to go.
No, because, hear me out, right? You take the bag out the bin, shuffle it a bit, like for those of you listening, I'm shaking like a shitting dog here, but you shake it, it all falls to the bottom, and then there's loads of them. You can't waste space. Hey, environmentally friendly.
No, if you've gone to the effort of taking the bag out, you've done the hardest part. The hardest part is the removal of the bag.
The hardest part is taking it out.
I think the hardest part is tying it up and going to the bigger bin.
I don't always. This is probably not the right thing to do. I often don't tie. If it's too hard to tie, I'll take the bag loosely open and put it in the big bin outside.
If it's too hard to tie, but the oh shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
If it's too hard to tie,
that's it. Yeah. So if you take it to the big bin and you don't tie it up, you can make your bin smell disgusting.
Yes, the outdoor bin, yeah. But again, the outdoor. I live in an apartment building. It's sort of like. The outdoor bin's not my problem.
I mean, no, it's not. I mean, it stinks, so who cares?
Yeah.
The only way, if I took the bin out and I'd run to the big bin, it'd be if there was bin juice. Bin juice, you've got to go straight to the big bin.
Do you have a double bag if you've got the bin juice? So get another bag ready to go underneath the big bag.
That's so much effort.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I've done it before, though.
No, I'm just traipsing it through the house. And
do these sort of conversations go on when Luke Carey's in here? Or is
not
do we just stoop down to my level?
You know what? I don't even know where this came, but you have dragged it. It's a bit of energy that we feel we can go these places. On a serious note, Cheese, you're looking fantastic, but obviously the injury, but we had that big discussion around your life-changing couple of weeks, months. I'm assuming things are still going well.
Things are still going on track. Still
well done.
Yeah, still sober. Still, I'm able to go out now. I don't have a real need to to drink anymore. Like I've done so many nights out with the boys sober that it's just like that's the new norm. I think the energy thing is just the problem is I can't stay up anymore. and I've sort of lent on my responsibility now is getting the boys home. So it's the driving and stuff like that. So now there's a purpose for me to be out, and it's if the boys want to go to another club, it's just driving to another club and stuff like that. I haven't gone out for the last month, but when we went to Gosford, I went out and the boys had a pretty big night. So,
because I remember when you were talking,
Father Cheese.
I remember when you were talking, a lot of it was around tying your identity to the footballer, and how that impacted your decision-making process. And obviously being injured after you've worked so hard would be a kick in the guts, to say the least. And how you, like, I assume that you would have planned for certain triggers or planned for certain situations. That situation happened way quicker than you would have hoped for.
Yeah.
But then it's not about performance. It's not about who I am. It's about me moving forward and being the best person I can be.
The injury one wasn't so much a trigger. I had before the trial actually, I had a few things going on. Like my partner was pregnant, and then the day before the thing, she had to get surgery, and we lost our baby 14 weeks in.
Yeah, mate.
And then I done my calf 2 days after the trial.
Yeah.
And all those things, but I had I had the tools to sort of deal with it. It was hard, but I didn't turn to other things like drinking or other stuff to sort of fix the pain. And I still went into my shell and had to deal with all those feelings, but it was a lot harder, I guess. It was a lot easier than not dealing with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
just
absolutely,
not actually, just sort of pushing the problem to the side and going and getting on the piss. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think I'm really sorry.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I dropped that on
yeah.
you, but that was, that's something I've come to terms with now.
On a football-related note, how is the calf? Obviously,
you would want to know playing the Bulldogs soon.
Good Friday.
Yeah. No, I did a run today. I just come from training, then I did some conditioning and stuff like that. And it's not like, I probably would say it's at 70% that in my own head, and I'm not going to risk it until I'm 100%.
Yeah.
But
It's that Good Friday game.
It's possible to play against Bulldogs, but we've got to get a rescan and make sure everything's all right and stuff like that. I'm hopeful to play against the Bulldogs, but I just don't think it's quite there yet.
Mate, it's on track to be another record breaker. I think the Good Friday game.
The way the Dogs are going as well.
If the weather's right, could be breaking some serious records there. Like Bulldogs flying, South's going well.
Last year was mad.
It was.
It was actually mad.
What was last year? 60 or something? We got close to 60,000, didn't we?
62, I think.
And I don't think the
yeah.
conditions were favourable for supporters either.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it's hard. Like, geez, that is it's a big game. Like, obviously you know what big games are all about, but in terms of regular club round games, I don't know if maybe Anzac Day, because of the ceremony around it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that's regular, is it?
No. Yeah, but
the Anzac Day game, it's not going to be the one they do in Melbourne really well, like with the blackout and stuff like that. And I think we're playing Melbourne
on
Anzac Day.
Yeah, because they've switched the Warriors to have a
Titans to have the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, the Good Friday experience is very cool, and I hope you're back, but I also hope you're not back in a way.
The sober going out stuff. Have you got a strategy? Because I'm doing 75 hard at the moment, so I didn't drink in Vegas.
Did you know about this? No. Oh man, Jesus, you must have been missing all the bulletins in the leading story. Day 4 of Charlie doing 75 hard.
It's become 75 soft.
Is it actually hard?
Nah, it's become 75 soft. I haven't
so
drunk.
You're not doing 75 hard?
I'm not doing 75 hard. I haven't.
You're just doing 75?
Just doing 75 days of not drinking, basically, it's become. But I'm actually continuing the not drinking thing for the whole footy season because it makes me do. But I found it hard going out because I still want to drink, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I say I went out, but I haven't gone out for a long time. Nah.
I was one night where I had like 20 soda waters in a night. Like just to replicate
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's hydrated.
The amount of pisses you have to take.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
It's just the strategy for going out. Like, have you got
I'll just take the car, and if I want to dip, I can dip. And if the boys want to go, like, I feel like I'm doing something for the boys, So it's like, that's all I really do.
Yeah, I like it.
Trying to be the provider.
Mate, that's fantastic.
I just out of a memory, I had a dream about you last night.
Oh, yeah? What was it? What was it?
You came clean to me that you were, like, actually 19. I was like, what, why haven't you told? Like,
that would be impressive, though. Like, if I was 19, you'd be like, wow, you've worked in like Triple M for 10 years. So, like, you've done it since you were 9.
I don't know why I've just thought of that. But, yeah, you were like... Jimmy, I've got something to tell you. I'm only 19.
Maybe that means you think I've got something to tell you. Like I'm keeping a secret from you or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'm going to join Bloke in a Bar and leave the bar around.
or I've been exploiting child labour. I don't know. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a weird dream. Yeah.
It was very strange.
You got to watch out those gummies you're having before bed, mate. They can affect your dreams.
On to the football.
Yes.
Benny Te'o. Wow, what the Broncos, they just can't stay out of the spotlight, and obviously Ben Te'o being an assistant coach. Look, there's a couple of things like that I want to bring to the attention and sort of double click on for everyone. I can't recall any assistant coach quitting at any stage during a season without another job to go to.
No.
There's nothing that springs to mind. So this is a unique situation. So it's so unique. Like I say, can't recall it happening before. So that turns the attention on and puts the spotlight on the Broncos, what's going on here. And it was interesting hearing Dave Donaghy's comments. Didn't see it coming. They also didn't see Payne Haas coming. So, Dave Riccio spoke on 360 yesterday evening and spoke about how he thought the Payne Haas situation was going to be handled. And the reply from the Broncos was, it happened so quickly, we didn't see it coming. Well, the question, should you see it coming? I would say a GM of football or whatever Dave Donaghy's role is there. I'm not quite sure on how that setup works, but there should be somebody between the coach and the CEO that is, advising him on the day-to-day interactions, the mood. Obviously, they're premiership winners, but I think they should have saw the Payne Haas thing coming. And because this is so unique and so rare, with Ben Te'o quitting 3 games into the season, and Ben as well, look, he took this job on knowing Madge. He played with Madge.
Well, he was hired by Kevy.
He was hired by Kevy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was hired by Kevy, and then the timing, obviously, the sliding doors of everything that happened.
He was hired. My mistake. But then the other point I would make for Ben is obviously we've spoke to him here on the buy round. We work with him at Triple M. Very measured, very driven, with a long-term goal to be a full-time head coach of an NRL football club. He knows that this decision will bring about talk about him. Like, he knows that he's gonna. There's the easy option for Ben would have been, and maybe even the smart option would have been, see out his tenure here and then move on at the end of the season. Definitely.
Well, he had an option even to move during the off-season to the Gold Coast Titans, try to get him. Josh Hannay wanted to bring him over as an assistant. He also, Wayne Bennett, when he got given that job by Kevy, he also at the same time, Wayne Bennett was trying to get him to come to Sydney to be the Rabbitohs assistant coach. But Ben Te'o will get another job, I think, really easily, given how smart he is tactically. One of the stories that came out, obviously, is that Billy Slater wants him as an assistant, and that was blocked by the Broncos. Now, I did a podcast today with Danny Widler where Danny basically said that Dave Donaghy made that decision. I can't see that as being true, that Dave Donaghy wouldn't make that decision without having Michael Maguire's involvement in that as well. Maybe Madge sort of pointed the finger at Dave for that decision. But they didn't want him to be an assistant coach, and the reason for that was because Matt Ballin is already an assistant coach at the Broncos and for Queensland. They didn't want to give up 2 assistants to the Origin, which I can actually understand that to a degree.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But that being positioned as a major reason why it happened, it's not a major reason. It's just another factor, isn't it? Like, there's so many different factors, and it's not just out of the blue, this decision. I think there's something that Ben's been weighing up for a while. The Broncos, when this first came out recently, tried to make a push to keep him. They sat down with Ben and, pitched everything they could to keep him, but he's decided to leave. But Ben's...
So you don't think it's like a frustration thing?
No,
it's
it's a series of frustrations.
It's been a snowball effect. There's no way that one incident happens and you go, nah, this is bullshit, I'm out of here.
He's not that emotional. Ben's a really level-headed
He's very
guy.
measured, isn't he?
I mean, you've been coached by Madge. You know what he's like. Like, for the assistant coaches... basically have to shovel crap and say, thank you, Madge, for the opportunity. Madge is like the overlord. They look up, like, his way goes, and Ben's his own man, and he's probably gone, I'm sick of listening to this bloke.
Well, also, if that is the case, which, there's
I don't know what he's got to complain about, though. Sorry, Jimmy. But, like, you've just won a competition, like, under that defensive structure. Like, you lost a couple of games, but, like, the proof's in the pudding. And if you're trying to, is it a Ricky Stewart sort of results-based reaction that we were talking about last year? Like, you won 2 games, so, it must be Ben Te'o's fault with the defence because they've been scoring lots of points. You know what I mean?
I think he was getting blamed early. The last few weeks, he's been getting a lot of criticism from Madge around the defensive side of things.
It was brought to the media's attention, wasn't it, that they had a disagreement on defensive philosophy and defensive structure, I believe. So,
but Ben Te'o is the Broncos are not changing their defensive structure that Ben Te'o's built, even though he's leaving.
Yeah,
they're keeping the same ideology that Ben has instilled in the players. So,
it's a strange one.
It's not as bizarre as the Payne Haas move, but again, it's so it's unique. I can't recall a story like it, and for those people out there that maybe are like, well, he's just the assistant coach. Well, when you've got a coach like Madge, people like Ben are so important. Like, so important, that connection to the playing group. Because I imagine, and I can only go off my own experiences with someone like Des, for a lot of people, Des was unapproachable. Like, they either come through the senior boys or they go through assistant coaches. And it's almost the assistant, and you can see, if you go to a Broncos game over the past year, you would see how connected Ben is with that group. He's the one that runs that blue shirt. He's the one that's delivering messages. He's the one who the players respond to. That is no coincidence that he's the one. Like, I remember watching him in that Penrith game, and look, the NRL have changed the rules, and he might have been the reason why they changed the rules on the blue trainer. He was basically like their 14th player. He was non-stop. Like, the messages to Payne when he played 80 minutes that day was literally non-stop. The motivating factor. Ben looks like an assistant coach that is incredibly close to that playing group. He will be missed.
Well, it was Ben's idea to get the playing group together when they had that struggle and go out and have some drinks.
The loss to Manly.
Yeah, and then have that bonding session to bring everyone together. It's funny though. There was an interviewer was going to interview Madge and said, I'm going to ask you this. And Madge's like, oh, don't ask me about that. So Madge isn't the guy that likes to give credit to his assistants. Like, you'll never hear him hyping up an assistant coach in any interview he ever does.
Yeah. What do you make of this, Cheese? How does this have the potential to, further fracture the group at Brisbane, do you think, or it'll just be business as usual?
No, I do think it'll be business as usual. It's just, when you have a look at that team on paper, regardless of obviously defensive structures and that help out, but they've learnt off them enough. And regardless, if you got a team like that, it's they're doing well to lose games. That's all I'm saying. And you just have to look at the Tigers team when Madge coached it. There was no way that team could win a comp. But this team, now that Madge is coaching, it's so good that games can just be winnable even if you're on your half good day.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it does feel like it's the Madge thing is already creating all this drama. But even if Madge got sacked tomorrow, it's been a huge success bringing in Michael Maguire because they broke their premiership drought. So like Dave Donaghy has to be given credit for bringing Madge in. Michael Maguire has to be given credit for winning. But unfortunately, he's got a short time frame, doesn't he, as a coach?
Without a shadow of a doubt, that you've got to give kudos to Michael Maguire and Donaghy for what they achieved last season, and we can look at the ramifications, how they got to now, how they got there, and the methodology of it, and we can critique it. But at the end of the day, they won a premiership. Congratulations to that football club, But in any sporting dynasty, it's about what happens next. And a lot of coaches run with they're never happy with it all. But there's a school of thought now. It's about slight adaptation. Look at Penrith Panthers, for example. Like they're a team that their record speaks for itself, and they've got the history and the knowledge of it. Where Madge has got history and knowledge of it going the other way. Like he's fully aware of how that South Sydney situation unravelled, with Sam and Ben both deciding to move on. And yes, you could spin it as, they just wanted a new challenge in another code. But I reckon if you were to actually go deep down and peel back that onion layer, in an ideal world, Sam Burgess never leaves South Sydney.
No, 100%.
And in an ideal world, if you ask Ben, I reckon deep down, he'd say the same thing.
Yeah. And now what's happened is they've lost Payne Haas. So I kind of think the idea of a dynasty it probably ends this year. It ends like with Payne Haas going, they can't compete without him. Like you look at their team this weekend, no Payne Haas in it. Their forward pack is not a premiership contending forward pack.
On the flip side of that, some of that, like we're hyper focused on the negative things that have happened around, the Broncos of the past 6 months. They've been a story ever since, Kevin nearly got them that grand final win, the dip in form, him moving on last year. But let's look at some positives for Maguire and Donaghy. They've managed to sign Jonah Peasant, who at the age of 23 could be the halfback there at the Broncos for the next 10 years alongside Ezra Mam. So they've huge tick. I mean, in terms of young sevens on the market, he'd be
right up there.
He'd be right up there with the best available, the best possible outcome. And then we look at the replacement for Payne is Mitch Barnett.
Yeah.
These are huge coups, and that's evidence that when Maguire meets with Donaghy or the board, and they look and say, "How has this happened with Ben? How has this happened with Payne?" Yeah, right. He'll explain it, but he'll also say, "Hey, look at these two players that I'm bringing to the club."
Yeah, definitely.
They are big players too. Like Mitch Barnett is a great get.
Absolutely is.
Yeah. Like in reality, I think this idea that Mike Maguire's under pressure is a bit crazy. Like every coach is under pressure, but the idea that his job would be under pressure is so far from the truth. He's not under pressure for his actual job at all.
No.
But like obviously it's disappointing for a Broncos fan when they lose their best player and they lose an assistant coach. Like it does make things seem like they're not all rosy there. Doesn't mean they can't win the comp though.
No, Michael Maguire is under pressure to have this team finish in the top 4.
Yeah, but it's not genuine pressure. If they miss the 8, he wouldn't be in danger of losing his job. Like it's pressure to perform like anybody with any job, but he's not actually in danger of losing his job. Like he'd get the spoon, he wouldn't lose his job, in my opinion.
Really? If Kevy had won the comp that year, would he have got? And they had that dip, would he have got sacked?
No,
still?
Don't think so. What do you reckon?
No, I agree.
Yeah,
but that's a possibility for Madge. But I don't know. Yeah, it's so hard because there's just so much chaos around the Broncos 24/7. I remember last year when I was on the show, we were constantly talking about how bad they were going and stuff like that, and then they end up winning the comp that year. So
Yeah.
I think it just comes with territory of being a Brisbane Broncos. There's going to be so much media surrounding you. You're the most followed club in the NRL. It's
it is. Luke Keary had a great point, not about the bins, but around CEOs and how they operate and that window that they usually have. And the Broncos, they're a sporting club, but they're a business as well, and they would have ambitions to go past Penrith, and they would also be safe in the knowledge that maybe they're looking at Maguire and going, and this isn't a knock. Please don't take this as a knock, that maybe you're a 3-year coach at a football club, and maybe that success came perhaps a year early. Perhaps, like usually maybe would be get close in his first year, win it the next year, the decline starts, and then we move on. 3, maybe 4 years. And there's plenty of coaches that would love to be that style of coach. Madge just won 2 premierships now as a coach. It remains to be seen how long the tenure continues on. But he is not the only coach that fits into that category, and it's not a knock on any coach. 3 years is a bloody long time. 4 years, long time. There's plenty of people that would love the opportunity for such a long stay. But the reality of the case is sometimes it's just the nature of who they are as football coaches.
Ben Te'o, by the way, could end up at your club because Wayne Bennett loves him.
I wouldn't mind seeing it. He's very well respected at the club. He's won a premiership there, and I'm sure there'd be plenty of people at the club that would love to have him inside the doors because he knows what winning looks like, and he knows what winning looks like in the green and red. And just having people around that were part of that team, like seeing Sutto around and stuff like that. He does a bit of work, Sutto, but I don't know what his coaching role is. I don't know what his job is.
The vibes guy.
He's literally the vibes coach. But yeah, I think I don't know how many opportunities there is at the Bunnies for a coach to come in, but I think he'd be a great get.
Yeah.
I don't think Ben will struggle for work.
No. I expect he will be part of the coaching setup for Queensland now as well, now that he's no longer at the Bronx.
Makes a lot of sense that he would, yeah.
The other coaching job that could be solved very soon is Willie Peters now going to the Papua New Guinean Chiefs. I tried to call Chammy on the way here, but he brushed me. But Willie Peters is now the firm front runner for the Papua New Guinean role.
Well, that would give Willie plenty of time to finish up at Hull KR, so he would get at least this season, potentially next, potentially. It would depend on Michael Chammas and the Commission's appetite for him to stay actively coaching as well as being part of the recruitment team. I think that it's a 50-50. And it probably would depend on Willie's ability to sell that situation to the decision makers, which I think could potentially help him. For me, this could be one of those plays that we see a little bit in the media. It's like the first move has been made, and is this applying the blowtorch and the pressure to 2 or 3 clubs currently in the NRL that may have on the radar Coach Peters? Because if an offer comes through on the desk and you go to those other teams, do you want to miss out on this guy or not? I think Willie Peters would be a great fit. He built Hull KR. He turned them around. Had to make a lot of change. He gets that blank canvas. Obviously, there are some, potential hesitations about moving to PNG. We spoke at length with Michael Chammas and the chairwoman,
Lorna McPherson, the CEO.
The CEO, Lorna McPherson. Yes, thanks for the correction, Charlie. And they're very, very bullish on how the family setup is going to be, but I can understand why some would be a thanks but no thanks.
Are players starting to talk about Papua New Guinea and the tax-free dollars? Because I was chatting to a few players.
I think they've been talking about it since the news first come out.
Yeah.
I think it's it's a massive incentive to want to go over there, but also it's a massive change for your family to put your families through. So I think as far as like attraction to players, it's more attractive to the younger players, because the players without families and don't have to relocate and stuff like that, it's not that big of a move if you don't have a girlfriend and stuff like that. But if you've got, you know, your wife, you're settled into your house in Sydney, and like you're looking up for a contract and they're offered you a hotel to stay at in PNG, like it's a big risk to take, or not a risk, but it's a big change in sort of your environment.
Yeah. Your day-to-day environment is going to be very different, like very different.
You're basically living in COVID again, 2021.
Yeah, well, guys...
with a bit more freedom than that, and obviously the freedom to come and go as you please, to spend time with family and relatives. You know, you could. I reckon that'll be a big pitch on just how often you can get loved ones over.
What's a flight from PNG?
It's not that. It's not as far as you think. I think it's about 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours, something like that.
It's a big flight.
Yeah, international. You got to do 2 hours beforehand.
Yeah, not like you just turn up 20 minutes before your Qantas flight.
Walk in straight.
Charlie White here.
I don't know what PNG's like. Can you just go out and
you can. So we had Laurent McPherson on, and she drives around. She's the CEO. She's lived there for a long time, working in different companies there, and she just drives around freely and has never had any issues.
Is she an NRL football star?
She's not. No, she's not. So we'll be slightly different.
Could you imagine an NRL football star, like an Alex Johnson leaving the complex?
Yeah,
is he just getting mobbed every time he leaves?
I'm sure he probably would. Yeah, I'm sure he would. That's why they'd have to have some sort of transport set up ready for you guys to go. It's interesting though, because like you guys with the Melbourne Storm, when you won the comp, you were basically in that resort set up in Sunny Coast, and it worked so well for you guys. Yeah, what's the hardest part of that?
Well, that was the fact that we were in Sunshine Coast. We weren't in Papua New Guinea. It was a massive difference. Like, and we were already close, and everyone else was living by sort of similar rules at that time. It wasn't like we were the only ones that were stuck in this bubble. It was the whole world was getting put in, you know, restrictions and stuff like that. So it's hard to be like, oh, we were so hard done by. Everyone else was. We were just able to do it together, which was a great thing.
But how did Craig Bellamy and like the staff keep you guys all together? Was there like, it's because it seemed like you guys had the best time ever.
Yeah, we were already a pretty close team. Like we hung out all the time. We hang out every day in Melbourne. We all lived in the same suburb. Like we were already tight, and then that just brought us even further together.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of boring days, but then, you know, Melbourne would put on like a little event or like a little quick trivia night or something like that, and it really made it worth it. And plus winning helps. We won we won so many games. The vibes were always high. You know, I couldn't imagine being in a team with 8 losses in a row and going into the hotel and wanting to mingle around with the boys. Like it would be pretty boring.
Yeah. The what you just said before, Jimmy, about now it's gonna. Is it this a little bit of a media pressure to push the Cowboys and Manly?
I think that could be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, PNG would want a coach signed off on like relatively soon. So they're acting like this now, you know, because they need to, and they will be in talks with Willie Peters now. But Willie Peters' manager, Bray Finasta, will be using this to talk to prospective clubs around, well, he's got a decision to make, so you need to shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, I remember last year I sort of laughed at you saying Willie Peters because I didn't know really who he was because he was over in England. But after seeing the latest results and what Halkar just done, and then against Penrith as well, like... And then various players talking about him and what he does. Like apparently he's not like a very strategic coach, but what he does for the team, he demands respect. And that's the exact type of person you need to start off a new club.
Yeah. Someone
that's going to, you know, really bring you together, but going to put your team in line from the get-go.
I think we've seen this before with, like a Cam Serraldo. There was that fear of missing out. You know, he's probably the person that springs to mind, where this outlier of coach, you know, there's a crop of coaches there. They're all, you know, respectfully speaking, got their own strengths and weaknesses, and that all sort of balances out, and it almost creates them a, roughly speaking, equal. Cam Serraldo stuck out, and and I think as does Willie Peters. So PNG job is available. I think we're naive to think that there's not two glaring potential roles that will come available. So these are the ducks and drakes and games that are part of the dance.
This podcast is brought to you by NordVPN, and as you can see, I'm here in a hotel room. I'm away in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I am protected. All thanks to NordVPN. The hotel Wi-Fi, great. Thank you so much, Results World. But I want to be safe, so I'm using NordVPN. When I am away, I like to stay in touch with everything happening back home, which is now Australia, but also England as well. And I get to use all the apps, all the streaming services with one click of a button. In fact, no, I don't even need to click. It is on 24/7, 365 for me, NordVPN, because I don't want to worry about any of those people that are trying to get my sensitive information, my password, my login, my banking details. As we all know, our lives are on our phone now. So why not protect it with NordVPN? I often wish I could be in two places at once, Sydney, Liverpool, but I can't be. But I can be with NordVPN. I get to switch my location at the click of a button, which gives me advantages to be in two places at once. We all know we've got that overseas friend. Have you seen that show? Can't get it. Well, yes, you can. If you've got NordVPN, you can hide your location, change your location, and watch all the shows that those overseas friends get to enjoy that you don't. So to get the very best deal from NordVPN, head to nordvpn.com/James Graham, where you get 4 free months with a 2-year plan and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Click on the link in the show notes.
Allianz Stadium, Cheese. You left it last year. You left the Roosters, but now you're at South Sydney, and they might be claiming it as their own. So basically, next year they're going to play 4 games at Allianz, the rest at a core stadium, and then after that, it's 5 games a year from 2028 to 2030. So it's kind of like you're becoming the West Tigers. You got 2 home grounds. You're in Campbelltown and Leichhardt.
Oh, one of the best is the quote. Now we've got 2 spiritual homes.
Yeah, obviously I don't know the whole history behind Rabbitohs and stuff at the Allianz, but I do like the fact that I don't have to drive out to a core every game. It's an absolute nightmare to do that. We'll drive into Heffron Park and then catch the bus out to Accor. It's a weird one, and then the stadium's usually got 50 people. Well, it looks like 50 people. It's just such a bad stadium for like a normal NRL game.
Yeah, 100%. It's terrible.
It's terrible, and it's even like it's very far away from the fans as well. Yeah. And yeah, Allianz is a great stadium. Like I love playing there, and like the crowd is always packed. And I saw it at the Roosters game. They just had Roosters home, and then it just had visitors.
That was brilliant.
Everyone made a big fuss about it.
Yeah,
I think the Rabbitohs will be.
We actually have a home game at Allianz against Roosters.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do it straight back.
Yeah, well, they might, because there's the sign on the Allianz Stadium says home of the Roosters as well. They'll probably cover that up for the game or something like that.
I think
as well.
that South Sydney need to be strategic. Did I get that right this time?
You got it right,
yes.
brother.
In what games they play at which stadium, because, you know what, Cheese, you're right. I can remember the Dogs had all their home games there, and we played the Cowboys on a Thursday, and it was like a library. It was like, this is going back, maybe 2013 or something. It was beyond quiet.
Yeah.
And it rained, and just, you think that, I think because it's venues New South Wales, they will likely get a say. Well, I always thought, well, why don't we take these games to Belmore? Be so much better. And then, like, again, to show people into the world of what's happening in sport and how it has become a business. I was like, play this game at Belmore. And they were like, look, we don't need one person in that stadium to turn a profit. Like, we're making money by playing games at a core stadium, or ANZ as it was at the time. If they have that game at Belmore, even though there'd be more people there, even though the atmosphere would be better, even though it would connect community, you lose money as a football club.
Why is that?
I don't know. I can't remember exactly how it was explained to me, but but I trust the people that gave me that information
I feel
because
like
it seems a logical.
I
don't get it either.
Understand that.
I know,
I can't
but-
understand
I know-
opening the 80,000.
I know, but it seems like because I think it's government money. It seems like the
Yeah.
logical choice, right, to have it at Belmore,
But
get
then-
more money through the gates.
But then the government should change that setup then.
well, you'd think so.
So they can
wouldn't you?
change a lot of things. I think.
That,
Yeah.
that 100% that is what it's like. Because I might play this game at Belmore, and they're like, "Look, we get money. We earn a
Yeah.
profit if no one turns up. We could get max capacity crowd. It costs us to host that game."
It's about the it's about the corporate facilities as well. They sell those packages for a lot of money.
I might have a word to Albanese.
Yeah.
Big for Rabbitohs fan.
He's a huge rabbit. What did you guys make of Albo storming the field? The Bunnies players. Did they have any thoughts about
He
it?
come into
after?
our lockers after. There's like a morgue in there because we lost. I walked in, Wayne's like, "Welcome, Prime Minister." There's like no one really, but yeah, it was. I didn't even know what he looked like.
Yeah.
I got no. What's his first name?
Anthony.
Someone said John Albanese. I was like, that's not it.
Tony Albanese.
Tony, there he is.
Just on what we were just talking about, the facility, I actually love a core stadium to be like Wembley. Like you only play it for like the big games. Yeah, you still use it for like Easter Monday, Good Friday, whatever other big games there are played there. But like it shouldn't be allowed to be used for regular season games, I don't reckon.
Yeah, I think
I just don't get how it's cheaper.
We changed the model.
It's so
then.
much bigger. That means more staff.
I
Change
know.
the model. Like charge.
Well,
a bit more
they don't open the top deck, and they might not open the middle deck, but
more staff, less.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bigger lights. The
Mate,
lights are expensive.
bigger lights,
If it's
stronger
about
lights.
selling drinks, just have a few blokes with eskies walking around selling cans of beers.
Look, we're getting into outside our level of expertise.
You're right. Let's talk Roger Tuivasa-Sheck signing with the Wakefield Trinity. Sorry, Wakefield Trinity.
Wakefield Wildcats.
Wildcats, okay.
Wakefield
Why do I
Trinity
think-
Wildcats, I think
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
called.
Shaky
yeah,
wakey.
yeah.
Shaky wakey.
wakey.
Tell you what, that is Roger. I tell you what, he might get homesick quick.
A shithole, isn't it, apparently?
Wakefield is actually, there's some nicer parts of Wakefield. It's a bit of both. It's the haves and the have-nots.
I think he'll be part of the haves, though. I think he's on that echelon.
Yeah.
I think he'll be all right.
But I tell you, mate, like that's what. So Bellevue, I think. No, not Bellevue.
Bellevue Hotel.
What's Wakefield's ground called?
Paddington.
I can't remember what it's called now.
I'll check for you, mate. You keep going, I'll find it for you.
But in winter, not all the field sees sun. So it's like playing on this. It's like playing on concrete.
Did you want to know the name of their stadium? DIY Kitchens Stadium. DIY Kitchen Stadium.
DIY Kitchen Stadium.
Like a fortress, mate. It's an absolute fortress.
It's got different names. It's like playing on this, which is wood. And I said this is concrete, so there's a bit of a mistake for me. Either way, it's hard. Right, I always wore studded boots. Always. The last time I played in a pair of moulds was at Wakefield's ground in summer, because it was... not even in winter, in summer. It was insane. It was actually insane. I went out to warm up. I was like, I'm going to have to wear my moulds.
I'm back
it was
on the
too hard.
medals, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metals all day.
Yeah,
all day.
They've made me feel real good lately.
Yeah, they keep you on your feet. Traction, 100%. Wakefield, hot day. Hadn't rained in like maybe a week. It was like a cricket field.
Does it get hot there?
Well, it just gets dry.
22 degrees.
And then in winter, when it doesn't see the sun, it gets frosty. So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, take some moulded boots with you, pal. You're gonna need them, and you're gonna need some big studs as well, because it can get bogged down there. And
perfect for his style of footy, then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boggy.
Yeah. Just that left foot step. Hey, where you going there, Roger? No, but I think it's a big signing for Wakefield, especially when you consider
a huge signing.
When you consider teams were in for him. I think
the Roosters wanted him.
Roosters,
the Manly were after him. Eels were in for him as well.
There was a few teams that would have loved his services. He must be on big marquee money over there. That's quite the
And
coup.
it's the travel, I think. They're getting to the back ends of your career. The ability to be able to travel to Spain in 2 hours helps.
Yeah.
I think that's what got Jared over the line.
Huge coup for Wakefield, though.
How much longer do you have left for us, Chiefs? It's 1:30. I know you got to get out of here at some point.
It's
You're all right. Well, let's preview the round. I was just going to make sure you could stay around for that, but let's preview the round then, because tonight is the huge game: Manly Seagulls against the Sydney Roosters. It's a huge game
for me. Whichever way the wind blows on this, we're going to be talking something on Friday morning, and it's going to be.
So it's the huge media game.
Well,
the media cup.
There's a lot riding on it, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like I think if Roosters start the season 1-3, like that's a big story within itself, especially when you consider the market moves that they've made. And if Manly start the season 0-3 with 3 home games to tee off, like that is naturally going to generate opinion. You know, we had the fan round table here, and you know, Tobler was like, he was getting passionate, he was getting emotional. Like he said how bad it was in that Newcastle game.
Yeah, they were calling for Luke Brooks to get dropped. They were calling for Siebes to get sacked. Manly fans are not happy.
And this isn't necessarily... Roosters would have loved this game last week. Loved it last week. They're off a bye. That emotional, or the potential for an emotional response. And again, this is why I'm saying so big, Cheese. 0-2, 2 home games. One of the worst NRL performances I've seen in a long, long time from Manly at home to Newcastle, all things considered. If they don't have an emotional response from this game, then I think that, you know, the writing's more than on the wall. Like if they don't show something, they showed nothing against Newcastle. It was beyond poor.
Yeah, I agree with you, and then, you know, I played against them for the trial, and obviously they didn't have the Trebojeviches and that, and they weren't sharp, and yeah, they just don't look like a team at the moment that's really enjoying their football or enjoying being out there. That looks like they're just fighting for, you know, fighting for the next week, and I guess there'll be major change coming soon at that club. I don't know what it is, whether the Trebojevic sort of stuff's over. I mean, I think Lehigh Hopewadi needs to be at fullback from what I've seen him do there, and even like he didn't even trial at fullback. He trialled at wing. Like,
yeah,
it's just a real just stump in the face for him, and I just think he's what I saw from him last year, and that Manly side is daylight's better than what I'm seeing now. But you know, there's always a bit of media attention around Anthony Seibold as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Roosters probably get this one done.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I think Chucky's get this one.
DCE homecoming. What was it like?
Do you think he'll get booed?
I don't
celebrate it.
I think he'll get celebrated, and I think if Manly start to get pumped in that game, he'll get more and more celebrated, because it's like, oh, we lost this guy, we're missing him. Like, in a way, I don't think they're going to boo him unless maybe he scores a try and celebrates really passionately or something. Then that might change.
He does these ones.
Part of me,
kisses the bag.
I really hope he's treated well.
Yeah,
so do I.
Like, you know, I'm all about
recency
the love and hate of sport, and how, like, you know, you turn your back on you. Like, you know, I booed players that used to play for Everton that didn't.
Dog.
But yeah, with DCE and his legacy there, he should be applauded.
What were Melbourne fans like to you when you played them for the first time? Sweet, yeah. Do you reckon
I was on the
Roosters would
bench,
boo you?
so I was like up and down the sideline. There's still the same people that were always there. The Roosters on there weren't so nice.
No. It's always hard when you switch to the
It's always
crosstown rival.
better when you've done something good in the jersey.
Friday night, big game. Warriors, Tigers. Luke Metcalf returns. Chanel, Harris Tavita's on the extended bench, and Shans Nickel Cookstad starts. Dewey's good to go, and Jock Madden comes in for Luai.
What was going on with Dewey then? What?
That's a grade 4C cramp. It had to be.
It looked like, I thought it was OTB off the bone.
Yeah.
Like the way he was clutching at the top of the hamstring, it was like, oh. And obviously he's had a horror run with injuries in the past. Miracle cure. It must be that holy water or something that he's been drinking. Mate, honestly.
Because where he got injured was on the right wing of the field, but to get to the tunnel was on this. Mate, it took him like 20 minutes to walk there.
Well, like, you can laugh because he's back this week. If he's out for 10 weeks, you're like, oh, the poor bugger had to walk for 20 minutes. But miracle. I still think, for me, the interesting side of this game is so much hype around Tanner Boyd, and it seems obvious that they're going to get better with Metcalf in the team. Sometimes it doesn't always play out that way. Tanner's been doing a great job, and the expectation now is that they will improve. I still think they'll have enough to beat the Tigers, especially considering there's no Jerome Luai. I think he's a massive loss. That first win against the Cowboys, arguably his best performance in the Tigers jersey, was pretty good against Souths as well. He's definitely obviously their captain, but their spiritual leader as well.
Do you like Boyd and Metcalf in the halves together?
Well, I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, it's a good point. But do you like the idea that they've kept Boyd? So obviously everyone expected when Metcalf came back in, he was going to partner Chanel Harris-Tavita.
Yeah, I can see them working together though, because Metcalf is more of a running. He's like a Lockie Galvin type halfback, you know what I mean, or standoff. Whereas Tanner Boyd looks like he's really driving everything around the ship. So, I think that's something that can work. That's what I find hard with the whole Cherry Evans and Sam Walker is they're both directors. They don't have like different playing. Oh, I guess Sam's a runner, but they don't have very different playing roles. But Tanner Boyd is a running halfback, but also a directing one. And I was skeptical after this first game whether he could repeat it, but he's done 3 like Dally and point middling games in a row. He's up for Parlungi of the Year apparently. So the Warriors will get that one done. Yeah,
and Charlie was quick to act on this Warriors magnificent start to the season, declaring them the best pack in the competition.
Do you disagree with me? What's a better pack than the New Zealand Warriors?
I think you're just trying to suck up to the Warriors fans to try and expand our reach. The Warriors fans are into us, and then you're arse kissing them how good their pack is.
So. Well, it's funny. We did.
It's a pretty good pack.
It's a pretty amazing pack, isn't it?
With Jackson Ford doing what he's doing at the moment, it's pretty good. Mitch Barnett, James Fisher-Harris, Jackson Ford.
And I'm just going to throw this out there.
Aaron Clark.
Who's amazing.
Aaron Clark. Yeah.
And then
where did that come from?
And then Leka the Wrecker, Halasima. And then you got Jacob Laban, Jacob Laban's just like not getting any hype because of Halasima's in the team, but they're the same. Like Laban's only 22 years old as well.
Nick Cora not even in the starting line.
Wade Egan's probably top 5 hookers in the competition.
Sam Healy's pretty good off the bench for them as well.
All right, we've talked up the Warriors enough. Moving on.
It's funny, on the Macca's episode, the most liked comment was, I love that this podcast shits on the Warriors. That was our most liked comment on the Macca's.
How does it shit on the Warriors?
Well, like that we hang shit on the Warriors.
It is true. He's just sucking up. It's true.
No, we were getting praise for not speaking highly of them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who's next, Charlie?
Broncos, Dolphins, Battle of Brisbane, no Payne Haas, Adam Reynolds is back, and Tom Flegler returns from injury.
And that's his first game against his old club. He's gone through so much to get back on the field, and his second game back.
Broncos have dominated. They've dominated this matchup. 5 wins, 1 loss since the Dolphins came into the competition.
What happened to Payne Haas?
He's captain. Yeah. Yeah, take the C off him in Supercoach.
I'm gone. Flegler will be going mad.
Yeah,
he's a lunatic.
I like the Dolphins in this one.
Yeah, same. No Payne Haas.
No Payne Haas. Just bring I love Xavier Willison. We talked there about Mitch Barnett taking over from Payne Haas. I think maybe the answer lies from within.
Have they been playing him in back row?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of edge. No, mate, he's too.
Because you've got a genuine back row in Piakura coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I think when he come on, Piakura changed the game against Melbourne.
That's a good observation, Cheese. Yeah, I love Willison. But I just think this Dolphin side is ready to explode, and this would be a huge coup for them. Like you say, big advantage in terms of the games won in this genuine Brisbane derby. For the Broncos, but for me, the loss of Payne Haas and that performance against Cronulla for the Dolphins, and notwithstanding that huge emotional victory for the Broncos. It'll be an emotional night again, but I'm just tipping the Dolphins slightly.
Their forward pack looks completely different when you take Payne Haas out. When you look at their squad, it's like their forward pack's actually not that
This
deep.
is a good starting forward
Yeah,
pack.
yeah. On Saturday then, Jimmy, we go to Saturday because your doggies are taking on the Newcastle Knights. Now, not really much changes to speak of. Obviously, Tupouniua's starting, but for the Knights, Fletcher Sharp's back and Trey Mooney suspended.
Yeah, look, it's a couple of big losses for Newcastle, isn't it? Look, you know I'm going to think that the Dogs will win this one and win this comfortably. Lot being made about the Bulldogs' attack. Still without their star signing from last year. I think he'll add to that. Although he's not an attacking-minded player, his presence, his influence on the game will give the halves a much better platform to play off. I like Tupouniua coming into the starting team. I think he brings a lot. Hopefully he can stay on the field because he plays right on that line of what's acceptable and what's not. But you roll that dice, and I love his aggression. For me, the Bulldogs will get this one comfortably. And one of the main reasons is no Trey Mooney, no Ponga, no Brown.
Who do you like, Cheese?
Oh, mate, we're taking out Ponga and Brown, both your most expensive players. Geez, it's been a tough ride for them from the get-go, but yeah, the Dogs look pretty good for me. I think the Dogs will get it done.
How good a fella is Satili Tupouniua? I know he's a good mate of yours. I was lucky enough to meet him.
I don't know, he's a bit glazy.
I was lucky enough to meet him. He's good mates with Marcelo Montoya.
Yeah.
And Marcelo does his podcast here now with his wife, Taylor.
Yeah.
And met Satili. He seemed like a champion.
No, yeah, he's a good fella. He's hard person to hang out with on the piss.
Cheese, you got to go now.
Yes.
But mate, it's an absolute pleasure to see you. And we might be seeing your face more through the season. A few celebrity appearances here and there.
Celebrity appearance. I like that, Charlie.
We know that you're very focused on footy though, so you just let us know, mate, when you're ready to come in.
I don't have a brain like Luke Keary, but I like seeing you guys here.
Mate, we love seeing you. We've actually had so many messages saying, "Where's the cheese? When is he coming back?"
It's good to see you with a smile on your face, Cheese. Genuinely, like I can see how happy you are. And thanks for coming back to the bar round. You're always welcome here, and if you don't mind just taking that bin out on the way through. You were talking up a big game before.
I'll take it out of the bin and tie it up.
Just crush it down, or at least crush it down, and put the bit of the pressure on Jordan, Tony, myself, or Charlie, who's going to be the first person to move.
Well, you know we have a cleaner that comes every second Friday that normally takes the bins out.
2 weeks.
Really?
It's a 30-litre bin.
Do they take the bins out?
Josh Reynolds' mum's cleaning company, the Grub Mother.
Oh yeah, I know they come. I pay
Such a good name.
Yeah,
I pay the invoice, but I didn't know
they take the bin. Yeah,
they take the bin.
Yeah.
All right,
But we'll let Cheese go.
On that bombshell, I'm not going to take it. I mean, if you were going to sign up to the Patreon to give us some money to be bothered to take the bins out, don't, because we're paying. We're flush. We're paying for cleaners.
All right, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you, mate. Great to have Cheese in, Jimmy, but we got a few more games to preview. Panthers Eels Saturday 5:30. Jack Cogger's back from his concussion protocols. He comes into the team. Brian Kelly in for Jordan Samarani. Still no Jack DeBellin, which is crazy now that Hopgood's out for the season. But anyway, something must have happened.
I don't know what's going on there. You know, Jack in his opening 2 games for the Parramatta Eels was, I thought, pretty good. All things considered, you know, the loss against the Storm and then that big win up against the Broncos on that Thursday evening. And then to not feature against his former club, really surprising. No real answer on that. He was in the 19, and then we were there game day, and I said, I think that's Jack DeBellin playing New South Wales Cup here, playing reserves, and it was, and then not in the even extended this week. So a surprise. I guess that's a story to potentially watch. But yeah, Panthers against the Eels. This game usually tight. The Eels are a side that can beat the Penrith Panthers, especially on their day.
I think that's overrated a little bit. I think that's overrated a little bit. Like, oh, Eels have such a good record against Penrith. Like, Penrith normally win this game.
Normally win.
Eels just won a couple of games during the Panthers period of dominance.
They make tighter contests as well.
The Styles make good fights.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they lost. They got pumped in the game that mattered in 2022, though, didn't they?
They did.
In the grand final.
Well, I've got a same game multi for this one.
Okay, we haven't won one yet, Jimmy. By the way, we haven't got one up. So I hope you're putting a lot of effort into this one. Because
I sure have. I've been doing a lot of thinking.
Just to peel back the curtain, Jimmy takes about 10 minutes to put his same game multis together. So he puts a lot of work into it. I think it could be analysis paralysis.
You think I'm overthinking it?
I think you're overthinking it, yeah. Big time.
You just shake your mints and try and put me off. Luckily for our listeners, I've already prepared this one. So, same game multi. Penrith 1-12. Under total match points, 47.5 points. And Jenkins, anytime try scorer.
Wow.
$8.88 on Ladbrokes.
Okay, yeah, good odds for that. You and me are on completely different pages for this game then, because I've gone for Penrith Panthers at the alternate line. So pick your own line on Ladbrokes, minus 35.5.
What?
Which is
Hang
about,
on, what?
Yeah, Penrith to win by more than 36 points.
What's the line now?
The actual line? The actual line is... Well, I've chosen the alternate line, Jimmy, so you give me a question that I don't know the answer to. I think it's about 15.5. 15.5, thank you, Tony. I've taken minus 35.5 because I think this is a hammering. I think I'm a bit worried about Parramatta. I know I hyped them up and said they'd beat the Broncos a couple of weeks ago, but I'm getting a little bit worried for them. Casey McLean, anytime try scorer. Tom Jenkins, anytime try scorer. That one's paying $10.86.
Yeah, interesting. I'm just looking at Panthers' total points scored. 26 their first week, 26 their second, 40. They won by 36 points against the Roosters.
I think this could be an old school hammering.
You think it's a shellacking?
I think it could be a shellacking. I just love Penrith at the moment. I think everything they're doing is just so impressive.
Oh.
Of course, gamble responsibly if you're going to take on any of our same game multis.
Yes, please do.
But we've both got Penrith in that one.
Absolutely, yes.
Saturday night, Jimmy, the Cowboys take on the Storm. Tom Jester's out with a suspension, so the great Zach Laybutt comes into the team. Also, good news, Thomas McKaylee is back from his knee injury. Who do you like in this one, Jimmy?
I mean, the obvious choice is Melbourne. I've just got a feeling that the Cowboys with that win could just boost them. That they're at home on a Saturday evening, which is their preferred time slot. Melbourne, look, they'll be licking their wounds. I think they did this last year. Did they go back-to-back losses, like unexpected losses?
I think
last
so,
year
yeah.
From memory.
Dragons and someone else, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just think the Cowboys are a team that I think can trouble Melbourne at times. I think if the Cowboys don't win, I can't see the Storm like putting the cleaners through them. I could be totally wrong, and I'm happy to accept that. But from memory as well, I think they played out a close encounter last time. But I'm a bit more bullish on the Cowboys this week after that relief of a first victory. Round
18 last year, the Storm beat them 26-20 in Townsville.
Yeah,
it was a close game.
A really close game.
They didn't lose 2 in a row, the Storm. We were wrong about that.
They didn't? All right, yeah, my bad.
Nah, that's all right. That's fine, Jimmy. Keeping on going then.
Well, with that then, no, Storm won't lose 2 in a row, but I think it'll be close.
Okay.
Storm will bounce back, but it'll be close.
And our Raiders are taking on the Sharks Sunday afternoon. Josh Papali'i suspended. Joe Roddy is in the 17. I love Joe Roddy. He's going to be an absolute star of the future, star for Canberra Raiders for many years to come. We expect him to play now this weekend. He hasn't played yet this season. It'll be a second NRL game. He is one to watch, but Britton Nickera is out with a broken nose, so Teague Wilton gets the start for Cronulla. Yeah, it's a funny one, that out with a broken nose. Not usually enough to keep a player out, but I just think with the luxury of so many forwards that the Cronulla Sharks have, and with Teague Wilton back in, that conversation and that decision is a lot easier. I think if this was, we spoke about Adam Reynolds not playing, or it spoke about him missing a game with a rib cartilage injury, and the luxury that they had to bring in Ben Hunt, which obviously paid off. I'm surprised Nickera is not playing, especially with the strength of the Raiders pack, and especially considering the flatness of their performance last week. You think his broken nose might be a bit of a smother and he's actually been dropped?
No, I don't think that. No,
because at times he's come off the bench.
Both of these teams are 1 and 2. One will go to 1 and 3, which is not a huge mountain to climb. But Raiders last year's minor premiers, and the Sharks last year's. These two teams met in the playoffs, didn't they? In week 2. 1 and 3 is not ideal. It's recoverable because both of these teams possess quality. I think the Raiders will get a victory down there. I really do. The Raiders in defeat have been exceptional. They were so good last week. I'd love to have seen that Dogs-Canberra game on a dry track. But yeah, Raiders for me in this one.
It's fascinating. Wade Graham on the Macca's 99 Part 1 show yesterday talking about the impact of Ronaldo Mulatalo and
yes,
how him not playing, like, yes, he's only a winger, but he's an emotional leader for them, which is very rare for a winger to be an emotional leader.
Yeah.
But they're clearly missing his energy.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100% they are. Yeah, him and Cam McInnes. We've said that on that podcast about they're both leaders in their own right, very different styles or leadership styles and philosophies, but both have that ability to pump and motivate through different methods. But yeah, I think Raiders get this one.
Spoon Bowl Sunday night, Titans, Dragons. No changes for the Titans. Couchman copped a 4-week suspension, Ryan Couchman that is, and I don't know, 4 weeks felt a bit harsh in my eyes. Like, yes, of course, Hobgood did his ACL, but it's not the worst hip drop was probably the Carrigan one on Hastings, which broke his ankle,
and it
was nowhere near as bad as
not
that.
in the same league.
Yeah,
not in the same league. But I mean, look, referred straight to the judiciary. The Carrigan one was that 2020.
I can't remember.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Going back some, when it was very.
Might have been 2022, maybe.
Yeah, it was very new. And look, yeah, Couchman out. Lot of talk around the Dragons, their halves pairing. I've said that I think they need to go to the Titans and say which one of these three are you willing to let go. It might seem unpopular, but I think they've got to change something, or they'll continue to lose close contests. Like, and you know, in this game especially, how long can you keep playing with that level of intensity? And not like the Dragons, really, to be fair, they're due a down week. We see teams fluctuate with their energy. Sharks are a classic example last week. Their energy was down, and we see teams fluctuate with their form, especially early part of the season. Well, Dragons they were up for 90 minutes against the Bulldogs, up for 60 minutes against the Melbourne Storm. They were up last week against the Parramatta Eels for a good 60, 70 minutes and trying really hard. Like, people you want consistency, but it's hard to sustain those effort levels. And they're coming up against a very dangerous side. I think the Titans beat them, yeah.
Really? Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do. I think, and that talk within the media, I think the pressure may get to them. They're 0-3 now, but they're not that bad. They're not playing like they're not like, in terms of performances. Like, I know Manly are 0-2 to start the year, but I'd prefer my club to be playing like the Dragons are than what the Manly Seagulls are. But you can see that Manly have been dreadful. They've got upside in them. They've got a kick in the arse. They've got an emotional response. They've got positive change. See, the Dragons, I don't know if there's any more for them to give. There's no, well, if Tommy gets hot, if Manly fix up some defensive deficiencies, bring Kohler, bring Hopawate, bring Turbo, bring Olakawatu into the contest, they're going to get better. Like, Dragons are doing what they're doing, and Sewer and Holmes are getting plenty of involvement. I don't know where the Dragons can go further as a, like, obviously I spoke about Cook and Liddle being on the field at the same time. I think there's something to explore there. But other than that, I don't know how the Dragons, from their rounds 1, 2, and 3, elevate their performance.
Yeah, the ceiling for the Dragons is probably the lowest in the entire NRL, unfortunately, based on the roster they have.
I think the ceiling is pretty much where they're at now.
They're trying their arse off.
They're trying their arse off, and Coach Flanagan shouldn't be not under pressure. He should be congratulated for squeezing this juice just as hard as he can. And obviously he's going to be under public conversation because of the father-son relationship. There's no one at the Dragons that's banging down the door, in my eyes, to replace him.
Yeah.
But that's why I think they've got to go to market to do it. And I just think, look, the Titans have been inconsistent, but they'll fancy themselves this week. And again, that goes back to that point of I just don't know if the Dragons can maintain their efforts. The
one for the Dragons that everyone should keep an eye out for is if Joey Manu comes back to the NRL this year, which I did a podcast with Luke Keary, and he said that Joey Manu wouldn't come back to the NRL unless he was playing fullback. Well, the place where he can get that slot, St. George Illawarra Dragons, and what a buy he'd be for them. And Flanagan's been a huge fan of him, tried to get him a few times.
Well, if he is going to come back, Dragons should throw the bank at him.
Kitchen sink.
Absolutely. Well, Chick, it's been great to chat with you. We're going to be joined by French coach Laurent Frayssinous in a moment. We're bringing him to talk all things Rugby League World Cup, have a bit of a scout about where France are at. And we will see you on the other side. Well, as discussed, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by French coach Laurent Frayssinous. Did I get that one right? Obviously, the surname's right, the hardest part, but Laurent.
Very good, James. Very good.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us here on the Buy Round. Quite the journey to get here.
Yeah, long trip, obviously, because of what happened in the world. Long trip for me, but so far we've been there for 10 days, and it's worth of a trip. We had a very good meeting regarding the future of our game in Europe, regarding the World Cup at the end of the year, and for me personally, keep on learning from Trent at the Roosters.
Yeah. Oh, so Trent Robinson is going to be assisting you, or head of coach. How's that going to work?
Since 2021, since I've been appointed, I asked him if he could help us, and obviously for the last 5 years, he's our director of rugby. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously picking the brain of him. In terms of players that will be available for you in the NRL, are there any with French heritage that you think you can convince to represent the nation of France?
There's no NRL starting 13 players. There is some players like lateral Sigwald, who's playing for South. He's been named in the 20 or 19 men squad the last few weeks. There is Louis Grossemy, who's playing at the Bulldogs in reserve grade and is waiting for an opportunity to play NRL. He played for France last year. There is Zach Sarfati, who's playing for the under-21 at the Roosters. And there is our French guy, Enzo Greffier, who's playing for the 21 at the Roosters as well. So they guys are very, very keen to be part of the 24-man squad for France at the end of the year during the World Cup. But so far, didn't hear about anything about having someone having French heritage.
Obviously, the focus is on the World Cup, and I'll skip to a little bit about the meeting with the NRL and the commissioners and the chairman, CEO, Mr. Valanders and Mr. Abdo, respectfully. But in terms of Pool B, the fixtures against Samoa, England, Lebanon, a restructured World Cup with no quarterfinals.
Yep.
Is the realistic possibility France are still in the comp with 4 teams to go?
Tell you, like, we are going to play the games and try to win every game. Are we going to be like in the best 4 teams in the world? I think we are far from it. But what we want is from the last World Cup. I think we won against Greece. We performed against England, even if we lost.
Yeah.
And we've been smashed by Samoa. So for us, we've got 3 great opposition at the end of the year, and we want to perform every game. That's our objective. If we can win 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, don't know. But we want to perform and be in the game every weekend. That's our goal.
Yeah, I think that's a fair and realistic possibility for the French side. I think you're right that from memory that performance against England it was credible.
There
was
was
a lot to draw and a lot to like.
Yeah, I think there was 18-12 at some point, around 50 minutes into the game. England score straight after it on a forward pass, thanks to the ref. But no, I think we lost 40-18, and to be honest, England till their loss against semi-final, our result was the best against England. So yeah.
With an eye on the future, I've obviously, when I was a kid, Paris came into the competition almost 30 years ago to the day. I think Super League is celebrating its 30th birthday. Paris Saint-Germain come into the comp. That team is no longer there. Yep. I was there when yourself was playing the Catalans Dragons in 2006. They came into the competition. Yep. We've obviously seen that expanded now to Toulouse.
Yep.
There seems to be an appetite for even maybe potential further expansion with the game in France. We've seen the Warriors here really catch fire with the nation of New Zealand. I know that sort of geographically it's a little bit different with Catalonia and France and some of the
Spain.
I guess the rivalry between France and Catalonia potentially being separatist. I'm from Liverpool as well. People often from Liverpool. I'm Scouse, not English. I get all that. But after the meeting with the commissioners, are you positive that they can make or help further the cause of rugby league in France?
I am more than positive. I am excited with what I heard for 40 minutes from Peter and Andrew. They are very, very keen to help the game in Europe, in France, in Super League. They want the game to grow. So it's up to France and to me and to us to keep working very hard. But we've got their backup, we've got their support, which is what we wanted to hear, and from them. So and what they've done in the game, obviously in NRL, and when these people tell you what they want to do in the future, you have to be pumped, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, good to hear. In terms of them, the NRL in particular, taking over Super League and having full decision-making power, how important is this pivot? What appears to be a pivotal moment? I spoke about Super League being 30 years old, and you've mentioned Super League or NRL Europe potentially. Just how important is this that the game over there, in quotation marks, gets this decision right, and when I say get it right, brings the NRL on board?
Yeah, it's very, very important. And you know, like me, James, I've been lucky to coach a bit in England as well. And you've got big clubs, and yes, you've still got 10, 50,000 fans at the stadium, but you've got the potential to do more. And Peter and Andrew can bring that to the game in England, can bring that to the game in France, and it's. I think the last few years, the game didn't evolve enough in a northern hemisphere, and it evolved massively here. So when these people tell you their plan and what they want to do, you have to listen to them and hope that they will what they will bring to the game and to the clubs and to the fans, because the fans they will be excited. They have to be excited if Andrew and Peter will be involved.
Yeah, they certainly should be. Look, I've obviously been I've spent half my career in England, half my career here in the NRL, had an eye on both competitions, and seeing the growth and the expansion of all well-being metrics here. Yeah. And I've seen, unfortunately, I mean, I can't argue against this, that it's declined in England or in Europe, and there are a number of factors and reasons for that. I think that this olive branch that the NRL are putting out there, and for them, it's not a charity case. It's a win-win-win-win-win. Yeah. Everybody's got to win. I think the NRL can help everybody win. I guess
exactly.
For one of the pet peeves of mine is the small-minded of some of the clubs over there. Delighted Toulouse are in the competition, but for some Super League owners or decision makers, they would say, we don't want Toulouse in the competition because they won't bring any fans to the home game. We'd prefer a smaller cross-town rival that may bring 2,000, 3,000 fans to our stadium once a year versus Toulouse, who would bring 10, if that.
Yeah.
And that is how they frame their decision-making. So I don't want to vote for... I want the Catalans gone and I want Toulouse gone, because the French game is no interest to me. I'm looking at this from my club, my business. So those two French teams gone, and I get two teams, and I get 500 one week, 1,000, 2,000 the next on my home games, compared to close to zero.
Yeah, I agree. Like to me, it's about that way you think short term. That way you are selfish and you don't want to grow the game. If you think that way. But if you think about like big town like Toulouse, like the fourth biggest city in France, Perpignan, where it's been based, be involved in Super League in Europe as a big town, and grow the game is more important to grow the game than having like 200 or 300 fans coming in your stadium. What I'm pretty confident and again excited talking about Peter and Andrew again, if they see the same potential in Perpignan and in Toulouse as me, I can guarantee you like some TV rights or some business will be done around these two teams and these two clubs and these two towns, because they are very important cities in France, but for rugby league in Europe.
I'm just going to tell you a bit of a story. I went to Toulouse, England under 15s. We didn't take a translator with us. We asked for ham and cheese sandwiches before the game, and obviously ham in France is jambon. Oui. And but we asked for ham. We didn't get what we thought was ham, and the cheese. We were expecting a bit of cheddar. We got some brie in there, so we got jambon. We got French ham and brie. We were, what the hell is this? So a bit of lost in translation. Also, I'm happy for Toulouse to come in, but where we played in Toulouse, it was stand-up toilets, and obviously on game day, then the nerves were coming through us.
That's where France Stadium needs to be better.
On a serious note, Nigel Wood recently appointed the Super League chairman, reappointed to chairman. Brad, am I right in saying that's the correct title? So Nigel Wood, Super League chairman, he's going to be a big player, a big decision maker when it comes to whether or not the NRL have this full decision making power. I think Peter V'landys in Vegas put a 3-month timeline on that. We're a month into that, so there's 2 months to go. Is Nigel Wood a person that you now think this is going to happen, or are you more concerned?
Again, I am a positive person, so I'm pretty confident that will happen with Nigel. One of the reasons was I think Nigel was was in place, he was in charge for the first year of Catalan Dragon in 2006. So I'm pretty confident, they will find an agreement all together to improve the game. I think Nigel is what he wants as well is to improve and grow the game in Europe, and I'm sure there may be some owners at the back of his ear saying no, be selfish, but I'm sure, like I'm sure Nigel will want the game to be better in the future, and it's part of the deal with Andrew and Peter.
Yeah, well, you've used the word excited a number of times, and I'm sure excited about the Rugby League World Cup coming up. If you want to get tickets for that, you can head to rlwc2026.com. Secure your tickets. We've got some blockbuster games over in Perth, Sydney, over in Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Brisbane, obviously. It is going to be an amazing World Cup. Excited to be a part of it. I'm not going to wish you all the best because obviously one of those games is against England.
Yes.
The rivalry between France and England in any competition is almost as big as it gets. Laurent, thank you so much for joining us here on the Buy Round, and enjoy the rest of your time here in Australia.
Thanks a lot, James. See you
Cheers.
soon. Thank you.